Welcome to the FabLab GoPro Fusion tutorial. This will cover both the practical usage of the GoPro and also the post and editing workflow after shooting the video with the GoPro Fusion. For the first part, a voice is not needed, so just look. And for the second part, my wonderful voice will come back and explain you what is happening. Welcome back. Here comes the fun part. But after you shot, the workflow is pretty complicated. You can either keep the 360 video as it is, or you can reframe it. What reframing means, we'll see that later. And keep in mind that at the Fab Lab and Oculus Quest is available. One thing you have to do is to download the GoPro software, and the link is in the description. Now that you have the software installed, just connect the GoPro Fusion with the cable provided. And here you have again two options. You can either connect directly the camera and let the GoPro Fusion software do everything for you, or you can manually download the files from the GoPro to a local folder and later do just the part in the software. But the first one is much easier. If you decide, because you need to manually download the files from the GoPro, just keep in mind that you have two different SDs to download the files from, and keep the two folders with the files separated. So you have to be patient, and you need a pretty powerful computer or you won't be able to edit these clips at all. This is what the GoPro Fusion software looks like once you loaded all the clips inside. It will be all automatical, but you'll have to be patient. You can preview all the clip and you see them in 360, so they're pretty weird. So if you wanna export just a 360 video and do no further editing because you are not able to, or you just don't need to, you just shoot your clip. Here's a very simple example, and you load it inside. You can trim it in Fusion Studio. As you can see, you can press the shortcuts E for trimming at the beginning, or the shortcut O for trimming the end on your keyboard, or you can just click and drag the small things at the end of the clip like this. Then you can play around with all those sliders just to make the shot look right. Don't forget also to go into the stabilization mode you need on the bottom. I didn't do that here, but you can choose how the clip will be stabilized. And also, if you do not want to do any further editing, you can go into the other color tab and maybe correct a bit the colors as you prefer. And then here you choose whatever you need to do. Now I'm just gonna leave it as it is, but of course if you wanna put it on YouTube, just choose the YouTube preset. That was the most basic way to get around this part of the workflow, and you would be already done, but you only have one clip. If you want to put multiple clips together, you will use another video editor. You can use pretty much any, but Premiere Pro is great because it has integrated virtual reality support. If you want to put multiple clips together in Premiere Pro, you will have to do basically the same things you just did, but the only difference is that under color you choose flat. And also here I changed the stabilization mode because the clip was shot on a tripod, so it's not really needed. I also add this clip to the render queue, then I just go to the queue, and let's say on one of those videos I want to change some settings, and I can change them by just double clicking it. And the most interesting things you have to know is that you can change the codec of the video you are going to render, and basically the cineform is great if you will edit the clip in Premiere. The ProRes is great especially if you're on a Mac. H.264 is the most common format and it works pretty much everywhere, but the other two have better performances in specific applications. And you can also choose about the audio. If you maybe need 360 audio, that's available because the GoPro records 360 audio. For example, here I didn't shoot the clip with the GoPro stuck on the tripod, but I used the tripod instead as a selfie stick and I just walked around. It's basically still the same process, and I choose flat colors here, and as the stabilization mode I just choose the second one because I think it's the best way for this specific clip, because I want the movement of the camera to not to be cancelled, otherwise the movement of the camera will be cancelled and I won't be centered in the frame for the entire video. So now I'm ready for rendering, and what you need to know is that you can go under Edit Preferences to choose where your clips will be exported and where your clips will be saved to. That's pretty important, and it's hidden up there, so you just choose where you want your clips to be exported. Remember to do that, otherwise they will end up somewhere in your standard video folder, I guess. And then you just hit render all elements and just go get a coffee because it's gonna take a while. Okay, here are the 3 clips just exported. So I will open up quickly Premiere to show you what you can do with those clips. So I just make a new project, call it Fusion Tutorial, import all the 3 clips, doesn't matter, and so now that we have our project with our files, you can right click and hit new sequence from clip. If you want to just keep the 360 video as it is, you can trim it as any normal clip. I just renamed the sequence that was created. I cut another clip in, so now I have 4 clips, and I go under color correction mode just to make to add basically a bit of contrast and arrange a bit better the colors so it looks nicer. If I wanted to, I could have also added some music, but I didn't here, and I just left the original audio from the clips. And I just go ahead and export the files, choose where I want to export. And one thing you should double check is that this little checkbox here is selected, so the video will be automatically recognized as a 360 video from the Oculus Quest or from YouTube or from Facebook. Basically anything will recognize that it is a 360 video automatically. So let's just stop a second and go back to reframing. You remember it? This is what it looks like, and you can do pretty crazy things with reframing. It's very, very funny to use, and you have to download the plugin for Premiere Pro. The link is in the description, and on the same page you also find an advanced reframing tutorial, which is really great and really nice. I just take the same clips and reframe them. You already saw an example. I'm gonna create a new sequence and I will choose anything like this. It doesn't really matter a lot, this is okay. And then you go into the custom settings mode and you basically hit the format that you would like to use. Here are some of the formats you could use, but you can really make up anything you want. So this time I choose to do a vertical video, so I'm just gonna invert the 2 numbers in this case. And this is what it looks like. So, and I hit OK, and this is what it looks like. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and drag and drop a clip into the timeline, and when this message pops up, I just say keep existing settings, because we don't want the timeline to become with the settings of the clip, because in that case the timeline will become a 5K timeline and not anymore a vertical full HD video. Next step is going to the effects tab. If you can see it for some reason, you just can go under window and then you find the effects tab and you search for GoPro FX Frame. That's the plugin you just installed before, and you drag and drop it onto the clip. Next step is to open the FS Control tab with the clip selected, and there you can find all the reframing options. So here I'm gonna change this to vertical. Since my video is vertical, this would be okay if I had an horizontal video. And then just have a look, and you basically just start playing around with the settings, hit the little stopwatch icon to make keyframes so you can create some camera movements inside of Premiere Pro within your 360 workspace, and just play around with the settings and see what they do and find what you like. So I'm gonna go ahead a little bit quickly here. I just turn on keyframes, and then what I want to do is make the camera move with me. So basically I start rolling around and creating new keyframes. Yes, then I also deleted some just to make it better. Another important thing is that I just click on ease in and ease out for all keyframes, so the movement will be a little bit more smooth. If the movement aren't smooth enough for you, they were not smooth enough for me, you can click that little button and open this visual editor where you can really see those lines and edit precisely. Of course, if you want to do a lot of this, you can do the same exact thing in After Effects, and it will be a little bit easier to play with the keyframes. But you also need to be able to use After Effects. And that's it. I'm pretty happy with it. Pretty simple, pretty nice. Last but not least, I'm gonna apply a little bit of color correction to this clip. I'm gonna export this clip as well, and this time I do not want to have the VR thing at the bottom of the menu checked. It must not be checked, because this is not anymore a 360 video. It's a normal video, and you don't want, of course, that YouTube or Facebook to recognize this video as 360. It's not anymore. It's just like a normal vertical video. That's it for this tutorial. I hope it was understandable and that you enjoyed it and that you will have a lot of fun with your GoPro. It's not yours, wait. With the Fab Labs GoPro Fusion.